pleading for my people, a poor downtrodden race, who dwells in freedom's boasted land, with no abiding place. I'm pleading for my people to have their rights restored, for they have long been toiling and yet have no reward. Good evening. I'm Sojourner Truth. Now it seemed like some of ye here are for keeping people down and low. And anytime somebody want to speak out against that evil, you want to treat them real bad. Well now, child, you can just burn down this building if you have nothing better to do. But if ye burn down this building, I'll stand right here and talk to the ashes and the smoke. My friends, they told me that I was in danger by coming here, and that I should leave this area at once. But you all know, I don't run from no danger. The abolition ladies thought I should come to the meeting tonight, dressed as the captain of the home guard who was to come with me. So they bought for me to wear this red shawl, sash and apron to match, cap on my head with a star in the front, and a star for each shoulder. Well, when ready to go, I looked into the glass and was fairly frightened, because it seemed as though I was going into battle. I carries no weapons, and I feel safe even in the midst of mine enemies. For the truth is powerful, and it will prevail. When ready to go, they puts me into a carriage with the captain and the other gentlemen. Now all of them was armed. The soldiers, they walked by our side. Well, I felt as if I was going up against the Philistines, and I prayed to the Lord to deliver me here safely, and he's done so. Isn't it not good for me to come forth to see what kind of spirits people are made of? From all this going on tonight, I sees that some of ye got the spirit of the goose, and others up here, you got the spirit of the serpent. Well, I know you feel like hissing and a snickering to see a colored woman get up, but we have long been trodden down. We shall come up. Now I'm going to be sitting among you to watch. And every now and again, just like tonight, I'm going to come out just to tell you what time of night it is. Now, before I claimed my freedom, my master, he sold my son Pete away from me. And the people he sold him to, they sent Pete down south. It was against the law in the state of New York to sell slaves south. What the people did was wrong. And it didn't seem to me it should make any difference that I was an African woman standing up for my rights and the rights of my son. The old missus, she tell me, you can't get anything done for you haven't any money. I didn't have no money, but God had plenty, and I knew he would help me. So says I, now God, if I be as rich as ye be, and if ye was as poor as I be, now I help ye. Come on, God, help me. And children, God provided me with more than I needed. I needed $10 to give to the lawyer. And then the lawyer was going to give the $10 to the constable. And the constable was going to go down to Alabama and bring my boy back. Well, the Quaker lady, she gave me $10 for the lawyer. Then she gave me another $10 to buy some shoes for myself. But I didn't buy no shoes with the extra. I knew that if $10 would get my boy, $20 would get him for certain. I had to take my case before the grand jury. I had to go to them courts and win. When I went to the courts, I asked God to stand up with me when I pleaded my case. Oh, yes. I got my son back. I knew I would win. Why, I felt as if I had the power of a whole nation within me. Now, Frederick Douglass, William Lord Garrison, they was abolitionists. They was good men who was doing all that they could do to fight slavery. Now they fought slavery by writing the books and filling the newspapers with the facts. I couldn't read. I couldn't write a letter. But I could talk, as you all can see. I was a slave, and I knew what it was like to be bought and sold and whipped, and it had to be wiped out. I asked God to stand up with me when I spoke to the people, and so that they would know the truth and do something about it. Oh, children. Now, ye all read books, but I talks to God. I talks to God, and God talks to me. Now, I talks to God in the fields, and sometimes I goes out and I talks to God in the woods. Other morning, I went out there by the fence and I seen the wheat holding up his head, looking very big. So I goes over and I takes a hold of this here wheat. But would you believe it? There was no wheat there. Says I, God, what ails this here wheat? And God said to me, Sojourner, there's a little weevil in it. Now I hear talk about this here Constitution, the rights of man. I goes and I takes a hold of this here Constitution. And though children, it feels mighty big. I feels in it for my rights. But there ain't none there. Says I, God, what ails this Constitution? And God said to me, Sojourner, there's a little weevil in it. Ain't these little weevils just eating up the country's crops? I want to talk to ye men there. Ye who call yourselves ministers, men of God. Then you stood up here and you threatened the good women of the congregation. The women's meetings are not sinful. Why should these women be expelled from church if they attend the women's meetings? Every time I hear talk about the husband beating the wife, it makes me think about the times that the masters beat the slaves. I knew a little mite about women's rights too, and I'm going to put in my little bit just to keep the scales moving. Now, sisters, I'm not really clear what you all be after. More rights than you got, why don't you all just take them? Y'all spend a lot of time up here tonight talking about where these here bloomers. Oh, maybe they can free your body so that your limbs can develop better, but they reminds me of slave cloth. Slave cloth. I was a young girl, a slave up in New York. I didn't have no skirt, no nice dress. I didn't have nothing that covered me properly because of my long limbs. Instead of the missus giving me a decent skirt, she just sews a seam up my legs. How ugly that was. I don't know about you women, but my skirt, my dress, it's emancipation for me. Abraham Lincoln. Oh, he was the best president who's ever taken the chair. When he took the chair, I likened him into Daniel, who was thrown off into the lion's den. And I knew that if the lions didn't get him, it would be God that saved him. So I said to myself, if God spared me, I would go to Washington and see him before the 4 years expired. And God spared me. and I went to Washington. And oh, children, I had a whole lot of work to do in Washington. Oh, the streetcar system was in terrible need of my services. The streetcar is the reason why I smoke today. I started to smoke in self-defense. It made me ride in the smoker's car so often. I said to myself, I'd rather swallow my own smoke than the smoke of somebody else. But one day I put my foot down and let the old conductors know that I was a passenger and I was going to sit with the other passengers. Oh, now the Marylanders, the Virginians, oh, they trembled at their bullying. But I was from the Empire State of New York, and I knew my rights as well as they did. So on this morning, I just pushed the old conductor aside and took myself a seat in the first class section of the streetcar. Children, when I got on the streetcar, one lady, a white woman, she said to the other, "Oh, I didn't know that the colored folks rode in the streetcar." Well, children, I looked at them real politely, like I said, "Excuse me, ladies. Of course, colored folks rides in the streetcar. I know this may surprise you ladies some, but I'm colored." And then I went on to tell them, the streetcar is made for the poor white and the poor black like me. Now, carriages are made for fine gentlemen and white ladies like you. And then I pointed out the window at two empty carriages that was parked on the street. See, ladies, there's two carriages that's just waiting to take you 5 or 6 miles for just 6 cents. Or is that too much for you ladies to pay? Children, they jumped up off the streetcar, ran down the aisle. Oh, that day in Washington, I had myself a ride. Now think betwixt the women of the North and the Negroes of the South, all are talking about rights. That you poor white man, you're gonna be in a fix pretty soon. But what is all this talk about? Now that little man in the back over there, he said that women needs to be helped into carriages, lifted over ditches, given the best places everywhere. Nobody never helped me into no carriage, lifted me over any mud puddle, given me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. Now I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could hit me. I could work as much and eat as much when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne many children, and seen most all of them sold off into slavery. And when I cried out with a mother's grief, none but Jesus heard. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could heed me. Ain't I a woman? Now, if the first woman that God ever made, if she was strong enough to turn this world upside down all by herself, then these here together ought to be strong enough to turn it back and get it right sides up again. And now that he is asking you to do it, ye men had better let him. Oh, and the little man in back there, he said that women can't have as much rights as a man because Christ wasn't a woman. Well, I ask you, where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and the woman. Man didn't have nothing to do with it. Now, I got one more thing to to speak on, and I won't take much time. But many of you all say that the colored folks is free. Just let them go. The colored folks deserves more than what they get. They deserves more than Freedmen's Village in Washington, D.C. They is living there in houses built one on top of the other because there's not enough ground. The rooms that they stay in have no light, little air. Rain and snow comes in through the roof and stinking water comes up through the floorboards. Entire families are squeezed into the rooms that are no more than 6 by 8 feet in size. I know that because I've been there and I've seen it. Didn't we help pay for all this country? Didn't we? Didn't we grow the cotton that built the mill towns of your northern cities and gave your people jobs? Where did the money to run this country come from? If not from the cotton workers of the South. The only thing that the government gives to the people at Freedmen's Village is loaves of bread. This helps no one. It only wastes your money and wastes the people who could be helping to build this nation. You ask me what to do. You want a poor old creature who don't know how to read or write to tell you educated people what to do? All right, I give you the hint you ought to know, but if you don't know, then I tell you. The government has given land to the railroads in the West. Can't it do as much for the colored people? Give them land for a home. Get the teachers to teach the colored people how to read. And then they can be a people among you. Understand, last evening this hall was full to hear a woman talk about Joan of Arc. A woman that people don't really know exists. I'm here tonight to talk about something that surely exists right about you. If you can help the people in the foreign country, why can't you help the colored people right here? The colored people will never be much as long as they're in the South. They don't have the reins in their own hands. Take the colored people to the West, and they can be a people among you. They tell me that the majority rules. If the people wants anything good, they gets it. Then I guess if they wants anything not so good, they get that too. Sign these petitions. Then the men in the Congress, they're going to make it a law to give colored people land in the West. I was a slave. I had my husband and my children sold away from me. Now my husband and my children are gone. What has happened to the affection I had for them? That is the question I put before the House. Now, if ye all want me out of the world, you better get the women to voting soon. For I shall leave till I can vote. Oh, child. A great glory gonna come out of all this. Well, I don't expect I live to see it. But before this generation pass away, the colored people gonna be a people. Well, you don't expect God to let us rob and scourge all the days of our lives for nothing, do ye? Well, I say if I never get to heaven, I'll say, bless the Lord, I had a good time thinking I would. Death is like stepping from out of one room into another. On that day, won't it be glorious? I am going home. I soon shall be where the sky is clear and the soil is free. I am going home. I soon shall be where the sky is clear and the soil is free.